Howdy y'all, Andy McCabe here with Claims Delegates and your Restoration Rebel Leader. I've got some medicine for you today, and medicine doesn't always taste good. So there's something I think we all need to hear, and we all need to understand at a deeper level. What we have in the restoration industry is an identity crisis. You see, I believe that we all think we're something that we're not. We all believe that we are restoration contractors. We are insurance disaster specialists. And we're not. We all go out and get these certifications from, quote, certifying bodies, official associations. We get these badges, right, we all put on our shirts, WRT, ASDR, whatever. Who recognizes those things outside of our industry? Nobody. The reality is, despite being a $350 billion annual industry, we're just a niche. We're just a niche. We're not anything compared to real construction, right? So why do we think we're so special? Well, we think we're special because we know Xactimate, or I took a water damage class, or whatever it is. When we get into court, you all can tell me, all y'all that have been to court, I've been to court. I've never been asked for my what certifications I took. Because the reality is we don't operate in a licensed environment. The restoration industry as a whole is not really federally recognized as an industry. And that mindset is destroying us. Because if we think we're special and we have special rules that apply to us, guess who's applying those rules? The carriers, the adjusters. They know that we think we're special, so we've put ourselves in a box that they know the boundaries of just as well as we do, or better, and they can start playing with them. They can start saying things like, well, I took a water damage class too, and according to my calculations, you could have dried that structure in 3 days. So according to your rules from your organization, the courses that you took and you attest to, we're not going to rent you any more equipment beyond the 3rd day. But we're all up in arms saying, whoa, it was there, it took longer. Well, it sure did. But as soon as we hold ourselves to a standard like that, it cuts both ways. The standard cuts both ways. Just like Xactimate is a tool that cuts both ways. Let me tell you what we really are. We're general contractors. Or we're carpet cleaners, bros and sisters. That's all we are. We're carpet cleaners with some air movers and dehues. Some of us are demolition contractors. How many of y'all that do emergency services, mitigation, do you need a GC's license to do that? No, you don't. If you're doing repairs, you need a GC's license. You need a general contractor's license. You need to carry liability and a bond and all these other things. And there is a licensing process for things like that. Contracting is a federally and state recognized trade. It's licensed. But you don't have to get a license to call yourself a restoration person or a mitigation contractor. And so that mindset that we are special is a hindrance, because we overcomplicate the whole process. We are guilty of overcomplicating the jobs that we do on a daily basis. I challenge you to ask yourself, what would a contractor do? Well, I see it all the time. I adjust claims in my local market where there are just contractors that got called to do a job. And I meet the contractor on site and I said, hey, what's your deal? Do you understand how insurance works? Nope. Do you have Xactimate? Nope. What's that? Can I get a bid from you to do this work? Absolutely. And unless they go out and get Xactimate, I can't hold them to Xactimate estimating standards, can I? As an adjuster? No. I can't do that. I can't mandate that, because guess what? No insurance policy in the world mandates that you use Xactimate. No insurance policy in the world mandates that your job gets dry in 3 days. Insurance policies, the contracts between the homeowners and the insurance companies, it's indemnification. It's a promise. We will indemnify you against certain losses in certain circumstances. How you repair that loss is up to you. You can choose your own contractor, and that contractor doesn't have to understand a thing. That contractor doesn't have 20 years of restoration experience and several IICRC certifications to his name. Does it matter? No. So ask yourselves, what would a GC do? Well, a GC would go in, look at a project, take a best guess on materials and labor, and put a markup on it, and that's going to be his invoice. That's going to be his estimate. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. So we sit here and we argue with adjusters over whether or not we can mask or whether or not we can add overhead and profit to Xactimate estimates. In reality, it doesn't matter what the adjuster says. You need to stop talking to adjusters, because guess what? That's another licensed trade. Adjusting, insurance adjusting, is a licensed function. And if you're sitting there arguing with an adjuster whether or not an insurance policy includes masking or overhead and profit, guess what? You're out of bounds. They're not. You are. You're not arguing from secure footing. So don't even argue. What would a GC do? Keep it simple. Keep it straightforward. Give honest pricing for honest work, and it is what it is. I had a friend of mine, David Sweet, on the phone the other day, and he said one of his favorite quotes, and I don't think it was his, maybe it was Chris Lane. He said it's dry when it's dry. Just document it. Hey, put in your moisture probes into your sill plates. If it's still wet on day 5, guess what? It's still wet. We got to get it dry. How much equipment did you have? I don't know. Here's my pictures. Here's my logs. Well, Xactimate only has $24 a day for those, and I want you to give me a weekly rate because they were there for 14 days. So, really, I want you charge me for 10 days when they were there for 14. Says who? Says you. I'm billing my client. according to my schedule of fees. That's part of my contract with my client because I'm a contractor. I'm not a restoration contractor. I'm not an insurance specialist. I'm a contractor. Or I'm a carpet cleaner. Or I'm just some dude trying to make a living, do an honest day's work for an honest day's pay. Don't get sucked in. Don't get tricked into the mindset that since these are the rules of our industry, that you have to play by them. Guess what? No one else has to play by them. You think Hoffman Construction plays by our rules? No. No way. You know, the people that succeed in restoration really are gaming. They're gaming because they understand the rules and they understand the ins and the outs. But at the end of the day, it's just a game. And our mindset is stacking a deck against us. Our mindset is inhibiting us from being successful, and it is costing us our livelihoods because of the rules that we have imposed on ourselves. So stop. There's your medicine for today. Hope you all doing great. I am doing awesome. Thanks for asking. We'll see y'all.